Welcome to the Game Minder. What? You didn't interrupt me. I was so ready for you to
You've been complaining about it, so I decided not to.
But I thought it was our shtick.
It is our shtick.
So I thought you would keep on doing it. Like
Maybe our shtick is I keep you guessing, Jim.
Well, like the Roadrunner never said, "Hey, Coyote, I noticed you haven't been like trying to drop an anvil on me lately."
Well, I don't know. I feel like it might have been a better cartoon if he did.
Yeah, I don't like this all everyone gets a ribbon thing. All right, so welcome to the Game Minder Report, your weekly source of upcoming gaming news and information for the week of November 20th.
November 20th, Thanksgiving week here.
My name is not Jeremy.
My name is not Jim.
See what I did there?
I did.
I don't know why.
So it's an abbreviated week this week.
It
Obviously.
is because it is Thanksgiving in the United States.
Not in Canada.
No, not in Ukraine.
But it is, in fact, here in the United States. So
Yes.
It's Tuesday right now. You'll be probably watching this or listening to it starting on Wednesday.
And maybe Texas. I don't know what they're doing with their new country.
Right. But then Thursday, everybody will be eating their turkey.
Right. And then starting at 9 o'clock, they'll all be pushing over old women to buy deals at Costco.
Yes. Black Friday. Is there any gaming news about Black Friday this week?
Yeah,
I feel like I read some stuff.
Yeah, no, there's a bunch of deals. Steam is having a sale. There's various retailers are having bundles and things like that.
You know what you'll be happy about is the PSV. You were saying that you wish more people were actually using that system, and there's actually a pretty good deal, I think, for the PS Vita. Right?
Okay.
Let's see. It was
What I can tell you is that the Call of Duty beta game, Resurrect. What's it? Call of Duty. Shoot, I forget what it is. It's Call of Duty something for the Vita, and I will look it up. But
Declassified.
Declassified.
Yeah.
Awful.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and of course the reviews were basically like, this isn't Sony's fault. This is
Call of Duty's
fault.
Okay, so here's the bundles. This is the PS Vita. We've got Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation Bundle, which includes a limited edition crystal white PS Vita Wi-Fi system, Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation game, and a 4 gig memory card for $199.99.
Mm-hmm.
All three of them are $199.99. We got Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified Bundle, so that's probably not the one that you're going to be excited. That comes with a black PS Vita, the Call of Duty Black Ops game, 4 gig memory card. And then there is the DC Superheroes, which is Crystal Black PSV Wi-Fi system, Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes.
I know in an earlier episode, I don't know the number, but if you can remember in the show notes, maybe link to it. I don't know. But we talked about the bundles for the PS3 that are going to be happening over the holiday season.
Yeah.
I do know that one of the big Xbox bundles is for $200. It's I don't know where the game, but it's a Xbox 360, a Kinect, and a game, all for $200.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad deal.
The cool thing about these PSV, and there's a PS3 one that comes with the Uncharted dual pack and Infamous 2-pack, 2 full games, is that all the Sony ones are sort of like agnostic to retailer. Like they're actually being offered directly from Sony. So basically, anywhere you go, they can offer this bundle. It's coming directly from Sony.
Awesome.
So it's not like, you got to beat everybody up at Target and get in line early
Right.
to get the Target bundle. This is a bundle that's just a Sony bundle.
Cool. No, I think more of the producers or manufacturers are doing that.
Well, Sony needs to do something. If they're going to get that PS Vita to the critical mass that they need it to get to, they got to start doing that. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about the pricing for this for a while now.
I know, but when the PSP first came out, it was the same thing, and then they cut the pricing, and I think the Vita has done increased sales from the PSP. So I think it'll just raise up. As far as handhelds concerned, Nintendo has the clutch on that. But Nintendo,
do they, Jim?
They do. What else did Nintendo have?
Well, Nintendo released a U.
For Wii.
What kind of a U was it, Jim?
A WiiU.
A WiiU.
WiiU. The WiiU came out on Sunday.
Came out on this past Sunday.
Some interesting reviews.
Yeah, I did not get one, and I don't think you got one either.
I did not.
I have no intention of getting one.
Well, you might. You have a family, and I've heard that this is the quintessential family game package, especially since if you have the young gaming in your life and it's on the TV, the family TV. Now the young gamer can still game on the gamepad.
Down to the big pad. And
basically the long and the short of the reviews for the Wii U is the games for it are phenomenal. getting to the game and figuring out anything non-game related in the system menus are awful, especially since there have been some people who have like hit the wrong button on a menu and have opened up debug menus and secret system things.
That. And but apparently it was not a real debug.
No,
menu.
it was
they
a
just
mock-up,
actually opened up a mock-up, but it is still slightly embarrassing.
And other people have been bricking theirs because there's about an hour to an hour and a half firmware update immediately when you plug it in.
Another note that I had heard was a horror story about somebody trying to move all their virtual console stuff from their Wii to their Wii U. Basically, they had purchased tons and tons of old games by their estimate about $400 worth. And when they attempted to do the sort of Wii transfer utility, the Wii died in the middle of it. And so as a result, when he called Nintendo, they said, yeah, we're happy to help you, but your Wii is out of warranty. You have to pay us to fix your Wii, and then you can transfer your stuff from your Wii to your Wii U.
Oh, Nintendo.
Yeah. So
Nintendo told one person, like, I guess during the firmware update, there was a network connection error.
Okay.
And the Nintendo people told them, we'll just unplug and restart, and it bricked it. But
never unplug during a critical update,
especially firmware.
Yeah,
like firmware is no joke.
No joke.
Software you can usually get back to.
And you know what allows you to do that, Jim?
Firmware.
So when you mess up the firmware, you're out of luck.
Yes.
I remember we used to. You did like graphic card flashing?
I flashed my original Linksys router so that I can get into something so I can get better packets or something like that.
The last time I did anything really hardware low level like that was I want to say it was like a Radeon 7500 that was like, there was a Mac version that cost like 3 times as much, or there was the PC version and there was a flashable, firmware out there. And if you got the flashable firmware and the PC card, you could make it work on your Mac. And I did that, and I did it successfully, and that was awesome.
Yeah. Actually, to tell you the truth,
I think that's the right.
The other thing I flashed was my original Wii, and I was able to play all these old Genesis games and things that weren't on the virtual console.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I guess the Nintendo police will be at my door tonight. But
indeed. But so with the Wii now actually being, I guess, technically the first next generation.
It's not technically. Well, yeah, no, it is technically, and that's the best kind of truth.
It is technically correct. The best kind of correct.
No,
yeah, so
it is the next gen.
It is, which means now we are officially starting to get into the next generation, which means there was also some news this week that dropped about the potential Xbox 720.
Yes. From the article, it's not going to be called 720. It's going to be called just the Xbox.
Well, that I don't believe is confirmed yet.
Okay. Well, hopefully it'll be called just the Xbox.
Buddy, sorry, we're recording a video here. Can you just sneak back through? Thanks.
So they said it was going to be called the 360, or not called just the Xbox.
Not a big deal. I just didn't want you to be just sort of going back and forth while we're doing it. So the Xbox,
it's good. Yeah, just like how Apple took away the iPad 3 and now it's calling the iPad. But
right.
I don't know how that's going to work because there already was an Xbox. And now,
well, yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see. That is not confirmed.
Okay, so that's what the article stated. It might be that.
Yes,
allegedly.
But a lot of the interesting stuff about the new hardware is, in my opinion, the new Kinect is supposed to, like the current Kinect basically will track bodies, hands, feet, face, and head position. But the new one is supposed to actually be able to track up to 10 fingertips per body as well. It's supposed to be much more intricate, which I think is really going to be what does it for the Kinect. Because I've played a bunch of the Kinect games. They're interesting. They're trying to be very next generation. But the control scheme is a little tricky, especially when you've got kids who might not necessarily understand exactly how far out they need to reach their hands and whatever. It can be tricky for them. And the idea of this thing being much more able to really track what's going on, I think that could be what makes the Kinect finally something worth playing.
I actually was brainstorming, and I was thinking, okay, so what the Wii did was it brought in the motion control. The Move tried to emulate it, tried to be better, but I think it kind of failed.
Yeah.
The Kinect brought it one step further.
Right.
The Wii U now is taking the motion control and putting it the screen literally in the palm of your hand.
Yep.
You just talked about the new Kinect. I actually think the next huge big thing in the gaming, like, I don't know if it's the correct word for it, but I think the next big thing would be virtual reality. I think it's actually going to come back.
Define virtual reality in this context.
Okay, so the Kinect does track all your motions.
Right.
You have the visor over your face.
Okay.
And you are immersed into the game as the player. Like,
the problem with that, in my opinion, is going to be the same problem that it was back when the idea of trying to get that technology into the home is a tricky proposition, because if you block somebody's vision and then also expect them to be moving all around, you're looking for people to start tripping over coffee tables and like running into people.
Search funny Kinect, search funny Wii.
Exactly.
And
but it's exactly my point. If we've already got all that, and that's with people who can see what they're doing, imagine how much worse it's going to get if they can't see what they're doing.
My argument to that is that they aren't. They're just looking directly at the TV. So there's not going to be any difference. The only difference would be is making sure that they don't actually start physically running into the wall.
Yeah. But again, that might happen.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying.
And that YouTube channel is going to be awesome.
True. I mean, yes, we have things like the Oculus, which I believe that's sort of a head-mounted 3D, right? Isn't that what the Oculus is?
I don't know. But I mean, I guess getting down to the lower thing, I was just trying to guess what was it, because for a while there it was plastic instruments was all the rave with the kids.
True.
And that kind of went away.
Yeah.
And then now it's motion, and I think that's going to evolve into whatever it is, whether it's going to evolve and die or turn into something else.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think, what do you think is the next gimmick? That's the word I'm looking for. The next gaming gimmick.
Well, I will tell you, but those are two different topics.
Yeah, I know.
A gimmick is something like Rock Band and Guitar Hero, where it's like, it doesn't really matter what generation console it is. It's something that's fun, but it's short-lived because there's no real staying power there. Something that is a trend is kind of what I think we're talking about.
That's a better word. That's a better
word. You know, for years it was about, let's just make the graphics better. Let's just make the graphics better. Let's just make the graphics better.
And that's what the article that you'll link to that Wired has is just talking about the next Unreal Engine and how the graphics are going to blow you away.
Yeah, and I mean, that's all fine and good.
Okay.
But graphical power, I think we're obviously seeing now that we're getting to the point of diminishing returns in terms of better graphics. And the Wii actually just bet on the exact opposite. They were like, you know what? Let those guys fight over the graphical power. We'll just be innovative.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, you know, Xbox and with Kinect and then Move tried to sort of follow suit. But I really don't think that we're going to be seeing a really big graphical leap to the next generation. I think obviously we've already got 1080p.
Right.
We've already got a lot. I mean, it's going to get better.
And we already have 1080p 3D. So right, until the next standard of graphics happens. I mean, I guess if there's such a thing as a Retina 110-inch display, but that's hardware that's not even the hardware of the console. That's a totally different hardware story.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting to see where things go. I do think that the Wii U is really starting things off right. I think that they are, again, I'm not getting one. I may end up getting one, but it's not compelling enough for me yet. I'm sort of taking a wait and see. Like, I want to see how compelling a lot of these gameplay concepts end up being. How important is that extra screen really going to be? What is it going to allow me to do in a gaming arena that I couldn't do before?
Well, I guess the cool thing for co-op, at least in the new Super Mario Brothers U, is the person that has the pad can add platforms for Mario to jump on to reach certain things. So that's kind of cool.
Well, and the Luigi's Mansion one, the Wii U, is basically like you've got your 4 players with the regular Wii remotes, and they have to like move around through this mansion, and the person with the screen is a ghost. So each of the 4 players can see where they are, but the ghost can see where the 4 players are and where they are. So it's, that sort of asynchronous gameplay. That is an interesting concept. But again, it's just a concept at this point. It's
right. And
I don't
only
see that
works,
being a full compelling gameplay experience.
Right. Well, it can't work for anything but a single player game. Well, I mean, I don't think it can work for like a multiplayer first person shooter. I don't think that would ever that could be done.
Right.
Just logistically, I don't know how that bandwidth would work.
Yeah, that's a technical question that can be worked out or not, in some other kind of way. But I think that that's really, all there is to say about this at this point. Until we actually get Xbox 720, PS4 out in the wild, actually doing what they need to do, and we really see what this is going to mean. I just think that Wii U is just, honestly, it's kind of halfway in between the generations, if you ask me.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as
it's innovative and it's doing new things,
right.
But I don't know that I would call this the next generation.
It's the next generation console with current generation graphics, but at least it's the first true Mario in HD.
There you go, Mario in HD. I think that's a good place to wrap up this conversation, Jim.
Sounds good.
All right, so moving on. This week, coming out this week, it's after the big.
Correct.
Rush of holiday games. We had Assassin's Creed, we had Halo, we had Black Ops. So now
all the Wii U games.
All the Wii U games that were the same ones that all of those, but with a second screen. So really there's not a whole lot coming out this week. It looks like we just got Walking Dead episode 5, Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault.
Only for the PS3 through the PSN network. The Vita just today got pushed back to January.
Interesting.
So just to let you know, the Full Frontal Assault is going to be available on only your PS3. The Vita is not.
Okay.
But yeah, so the Walking Dead episode 5, which I think is the last of the episodes for the first chapter. And then Telltale is going to release an actual physical disc of all 5 episodes together.
Okay.
And that's actually going to be probably in the next podcast or the podcast ever. We'll talk about that.
Okay. And then the last one this week is Chaos Head Love Choo Choo.
Sure.
No idea. All right. Anything new jump out at you this week, Jim?
An oldie but a goodie.
Oldie but goodie. What do we got?
Roller Coaster Tycoon, the original for the iOS.
Interesting.
Now, I actually have played a couple of the Tycoons on the iOS, and I think it works out perfect. I played actually when I first got the 3G, that's the iPhone 3G. One of the first games I played was the Lemonade Tycoon by EA.
Yeah.
And really enjoyed it. I think the Tycoons work well touchscreen. Actually, I think they work perfectly for the touchscreen, and so that is something that I'm looking forward to as I knock my mic off.
Right on.
How about yourself?
Well, even though I don't have a Vita, especially after the conversation we had last week, there's a new Uncharted Vita game coming. Is it new? It just says Uncharted Fight for Fortune.
Yes, that's actually a card game.
Oh.
Yes, it is a turn-based card game
in the Uncharted.
In the Uncharted, it was leaked by the Australian ratings panel, and so it was kind of like in this like purgatory, and then finally Sony came out and said this is actually a game, but it's a card game. Digital card game, I guess.
Well, if I decide to take advantage of one of the Black Friday deals and get a PS Vita, I will probably play this game. Otherwise, I probably won't. But I like Uncharted, so that's why I decided to make that my pick for the week. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for the GameMinder Report this week. To view the show notes for this episode or follow any of the games mentioned today, don't forget to visit GameMinderReport.com/27.
And to see when the newest games are listed, don't forget to follow GameMinder on Twitter or visit Facebook.com/GameMinder.
And to follow all your favorite upcoming games, don't forget to visit GameMinder.com or download the app for iOS or Android.
And finally, don't forget to buy all your games through our website or the app. Every game you pre-order or purchase helps support this show and the service. Signing off for the GameMinder Report, I'm Jim.
And I'm Jeremy, reminding you,
don't forget to play.